I thought it quite appropriate to talk about metabolism, the X syndrome and metabolic syndrome, as I just finished with a really hard run. So as we talk about that, though, some of you might be thinking, well, I don't have any of that, but you may have been told, oh, you're borderline type 2 diabetic, or your metabolism is just screwed up. It's just not working the way that it's supposed to work, like you're doing everything that you need to do, but it's just not cooperating. The scale's not moving. So in order to have a relevant discussion about this, though, I'm going to have to first talk about how energy is supposed to work. And then I'll lead into what happens when it's broken. And then I'll go into what happens when it's just slightly broken and what you can do about it. So the first thing is energy. We're going to talk about how we create energy. First and foremost, we create energy from the foods that we eat. We create energy from the carbs, proteins, and fats that we take in. And basically, whenever we eat them, our body is really trying hard to break them down into a usable source of energy. That usable source of energy is glucose. Now listen, not everything is broken down into that, but that's kind of the goal. Like, that's what our body wants to do, is to support our internal organ function and to support our energy needs. So as it does that, it breaks it down. It starts in the mouth, breaks down the stomach, the small intestine, and everything. It starts to be absorbed. And that sugar, once it's broken down, that sugar or glucose goes into the bloodstream. Once it goes into the bloodstream, the brain tells the pancreas, hey dude, we got some energy that's waiting to be used. So the pancreas secretes insulin. Insulin is sugar's best friend, by the way. Insulin goes into the bloodstream, latches onto the glucose or sugar, whatever you want to call it, and brings it to the muscles. And the muscles are like, yeah, rock on, let's go guys. And they're ready to roll. They are creating energy and they're having fun. Your energy level's up, you're productive, you feel great, everything's good with the world, the stars are aligned, right? So that's what is supposed to happen. Well, as we talk about muscles, we also want to talk about those muscles that we don't think about. It's not just about your biceps, it's not just about your quads, your calves. It's about your brain, it's about your other organ systems that are muscles. So that energy supports those muscles as well, not just your biceps and your quads. So keep that in mind as we talk about this, because one of the first organ systems that's depleted whenever our energy system is broken is the brain. So that sucks. So let's talk about whenever it's totally broken. Okay, whenever it's totally broken, here's what happens. As you eat, the body tries to break it down with enzymes and everything else, tries to break down the food into sugar or glucose. It goes into the bloodstream, and the brain tells the pancreas, hey dude, it's time, we have some sugar. So the pancreas secretes insulin. Insulin goes out, binds to the sugar, and it's like, yes, let's roll, let's be used. Goes into the muscles, and the muscles are like, dude, didn't you notice? Like, she's sitting on the couch having a Netflix binge. We don't need that over here. So it sends it back into the bloodstream, and then it's stored for later use. Where do you think it's stored? Right here in the belly. Or right here in the hips and thighs, right? So we don't like that. We want it to be used once we eat it. So we don't want it to have to go back in. We want our body to be craving energy throughout, so that it's not, so that we use those calories that we take in. So here's what happens after a period of time of you being sedentary and overeating or eating crap. Is those muscles, see, they have gates. They have gates that let the insulin bring the sugar in to be used as energy. So those muscles say, we don't need all these freaking gates open. We don't need to have those open at all. So it closes off some of the gates. Those gates, in physiological terms, are called receptor sites for insulin. So what happens after a while, you say, yeah, I've been doing Netflix binges, but now I want to get off the couch and I want to go and do something about it. I want to try to lose weight or what have you. So you start exercising and everything. You start eating better. You may be exercising, may not. You start eating better and stuff, and your food turns into sugar, goes into the bloodstream, the insulin comes out, brings it to the muscles. There's no place for the energy to go. It doesn't have any place to get in. So that's what we call non-insulin resistant diabetes, right? in its finest sense, in its true sense. That's what we call it, because the insulin can't go into the bloodstream to be into the muscles to be used as energy. It can't carry the sugar in there. So whenever it can't do that, then it goes back into the bloodstream and it's stored for later use, which is stored here and stored here, right? In the hips and the thighs, and most commonly though, that belly, okay? So non-insulin dependent diabetes is whenever you have a lot of insulin. That's not the issue, but your receptor sites are broken. Your muscles aren't accepting the energy that you're bringing in. So you don't lose weight, you're tired all the time, you're weak, you probably have to take medication in order to open those receptor sites up. Well, that's for true non-insulin dependent diabetes, where your numbers are are above where they need to be. Now, for a lot of you though, those numbers are just kind of hovering. They're good, so your doctor's not going to say, oh my gosh, you should red flag. He's just going to tell you need to lose weight, but you're trying to lose weight, but it's not happening. So here's the thing that happens with that is you have that belly fat, you have the hips and thighs, they're just not budging. So we need to do something about it. So we went over how an energy system's supposed to work, what happens whenever it's broken in its finest sense, like diabetes, and then the minor side of diabetes where you might be told, oh, you're pre-diabetic, or you need to lose weight and your metabolism is just kind of broken, is what we call metabolic syndrome, or X syndrome, or what have you, or just you have a screwy metabolism, like we got to work to bring it up. Here are some things that we do. Number one, 10 and 2 is perfect for it because we're getting rid of those foods that turn into sugar very easily. We're getting rid of those processed foods that cause inflammatory processes, which really screw up our metabolism as well. We're going to eat every 3 to 4 hours, so you're fueling your body with the sugar and the energy that it needs in such a way that you're not overloading it so that it brings it to the muscles, and the muscles don't need that much, so it's stored, right? So you're going to eat every 3 to 4 hours. You're going to choose a combo of quick energy foods like your fruits and veggies, and long-lasting energy foods like your beans, meats, and nuts. And then also you're going to exercise daily. That's the ticket. So how do you get your muscles to open up those receptor sites? You make them hungry. And you make them hungry more than just an hour 3 times a week. You make them hungry throughout the week and throughout the day. So what that means is you work out on most days. Doesn't mean that you're like dripping with sweat like I am right now after a long run, or after one of your 10 and 2 workouts, or ripped. What that means though is that every day you're going to go out, you're going to go for a walk, you're going to go for a bike ride, you're going to do something really active every single day. One of the best inventions to help us to get our metabolism in gear is a pedometer or a Fitbit or something like that, right? Because it's going to force you, woo, a bee. It's going to force you to actually get in those 10,000 steps per day, which if you have one, you know, like it's not easy. You have to walk throughout the day. You can't just do your workout and then go sit behind a desk or Netflix binge or whatever you do. So you want to make sure that you're walking throughout the day. So get a Fitbit if your metabolism is just broken, your metabolism is just not working at all, and the scale's not moving. Here are 2 things, okay? Number 1, turn in your meal plans because you're in our program so that we can review them, weigh in every week so that we can look at it. Do not weigh in every day. I'll give you the evil eyes, do not. Okay? And then also cut back on fruit, because we want to limit the amount of simple, easily broken down, quickly broken down foods that we have. Cut back on fruit, and then getting your 10,000 steps per day. That's the ticket. It may take a little bit of time, but guess what? You screwed up your body. And so now you got to pay the piper. Now you're going to have to work harder to get your body back right. And that's just the way it is. And I'm sorry, I know maybe it's fair, maybe it's not for me to judge, but that's just the facts. That's just the stone cold facts. So isn't this view beautiful? So anyway, that's what I have for you. That's all about energy. So go get you a Fitbit or something like that for you to work out, more consistently, get some more activity in, and make those muscles crave energy all day long. So love you guys and happy calorie burning.